So currently I've been working on a project with one node. I'm gonna make the whole project an entire just one single, node. That would be the level node. For Godot 4.0, because I don't have the source code, so I've been working with one node. Why one node, you might ask? Well, there's a lot of interesting things about Godot 4.0 pre-alpha. One of those is that if you know how to script, you don't need a third-person character to create one. So, fucking A. And you can make him do splat, and he turns right and left, like everybody was saying. When you can't make rotational values with the current, because the current formulas are not working, so you cannot make rotational values. Oh god, I failed. Okay. Possibly in Godot 4.0, unless of course you know basic math, which is the fact that the total value of 180 degrees would have been 3.56, which is an integer value, not a rotational value, and you can turn integer values into rotational values and then utilize that to make a third person character, which you can now walk with and strafe to the left with. And strafing to the right does the same strafing to the left animation because I'm lazy. And if you're wondering how do you add animations without scripting, because that's going to be the next Godot, is how do you add animations without all that other bullshit? I'll simply have them all in a value here for you to add. I'm going to add gun animations, and I'm going to add true or false bulls and stuff. And simply all you do is you find the label, like for walking, you click on it and you put in the animation you want to put in. So to prove this, I'm going to break walking, and I'm gonna put in what should I put in for this animation? This is the only reason I have the third person character, not a character but a mesh over here, is to look at the animation. Also, he's there to get the duplicate because instance does not work in Godot 4.0, which is fine. You don't need instance to work. You just need to duplicate, push into the script, and then hide the original, which works. So, what animations do I? I'm gonna do oh sheet fucking 3. Here we go. We're walking. So I put in oh sheet. I think that's how I spelled it, 3. Okay, I put in oh sheet 3 for walking. Okay, and then I press play, and then I'll be able to do oh sheet 3, walking forward. But so just further proof that I've made values, you don't have to script. In other words, if you wanted to have a third person off the bat, you can add a new type of third person all together, and it'll find your animation tree, and then all you have to do is type into the animation to label what you want. And what happens when you have something that doesn't exist in there, like for instance boom does not exist. If I press play, it'll play anyways. There you fucking go. No corrupted files. It'll play anyways. So I have automated animations from the jump. Automated animations and the placement of your third person character. I've also automated third person characters. Wherever you place your third person character is how he's going to stand. That is actually the wrong one. I meant to do the full body rig. Wherever you place him is where he's going to stand. So if he is offset for any reason, you can offset him. So now he's floating. There you go. You're welcome. That was easy. Same thing if he's downwards. You can offset him downwards. And there it is. Okay, so that is what I have done. If you're wondering, well, no, you just scripted this to work as a third person. You can see there's no cameras, and here is my script because I'm not afraid to share it. I am literally adding third person character body as a new mesh, which is a kinematic body, because that is the new node for 4.0. It's no longer called kinematic body, it's called third person. It's called character body 3D. And then you got conclusion shape 3D and all this other stuff. And basically that's the 4.0, so they're going to change it all with 3D tags. And then here's where I start to add children. I added a third person. I added a camera mount to the third person, so that's why the camera can rotate around the third person. I added the last kit. It's just a lot of code. And then camera mount position Y, camera mount position Z, get child, and all of this other stuff. I'm also going to set values for the camera positions. And last but not least, I'll set values for first person as well. Utilizing this third person, I'm going to make it also a first person, which will be interesting. And I had to basically do this with almost no reference, and so that's proof for all of those who are like, well, it's the pre-alpha, it's not stable, you don't want to fuck with it. Yes, you do. If you want to fuck with it, you can go right ahead and fuck with it. If you're like, but the height map plugin's not going to work. The height map plugin is something you can create from Godot docs, because it originally, well, maybe not exactly create from Godot docs, but in Godot docs they have a way to add vector math to make a single fucking plane work like a work with vector math to make oceans and stuff. And so that's what I'm going to be doing next. I think that was in the shader docs, actually. Probably why I couldn't find it when I last tried to attempt this video. So yeah, my dude, he is not that great looking. Made him in Blender. Also rigged him myself, so that I could get 0 copyright bullshits. And how does the animation script work? So it never fails to find your animation player. As long as whatever you got is a thing like a mesh with animations. If it doesn't have animations, that's when it will fail. Because what it's going to do is get the last child. It might not even fail then. Well, it'll fail because it's going to be like fully body rigged whatever. Yeah, that's when it'll fail. So essentially what it's doing is it's getting the count, subtracting the count from 1, and then getting the integer number value of the animation player. So no matter how far down the line that son of a bitch is, it can be 150 million down the line, it'll count that 149,900,999 times. 999,999 times. There you go. It'll count all the way till it gets to the last one, and then it'll subtract it by 1 to give you the correct position, because Godot always adds the animation player at the last part. So there's no more of this fuckery with the animation. As animation states, I guess I kind of built one for you. So there you go. There's no need to. I honestly didn't understand why we had a state machine, because the scripts, you had the script for the state machine, which kind of made it almost redundant unless you're going to use blends. And I might add blends later. That'll be another node altogether of its own with its own labels. So that's going to be a thing, and that's a whole node by itself that basically creates a third person for you. You can change the mesh, you can change things without scripting them. And then on top of that, I'm going to add an ocean, I'm going to add a procedural sky, and all that other stuff. People thought I was joking around when I said I was going to make Godot 5. I'm going to make Godot 5 just because I like to throw pennies at the at some devs who think they know everything.